Welcome to week 9 in parametric modeling, and in this week's lesson we're going to learn about datum features and auxiliary views. And first thing we're going to do is jump into chapter 9, and I'm going to draw this tutorial up for you, kind of do step by step so you can kind of see how I go about doing this. I'd start out with this. It looks like it's the base of it is a 2 by 3. We'll go this way 3, so just type in 3, hit your tab button, hit 2, enter. So we got that covered, and it looks like it's got 1/4 inch radiuses on the outside. We'll do that in feature mode. You could do it right now if you want it by fillet, but I'll wait and do that in the feature mode. And it looks like we've got 4 holes in this thing. We just got to find out exactly where they're located. I'm just going to go ahead and I'll put those in. I'll have to find out what the dimensions are on those first. Okay, there are 1/4 inch in diameter, and they're 1/2 inch off. So I'm just going to put me one right here, one. Well, really, need to go ahead and dimension that. Make that 1/2 of an inch off of it. Make this one. I don't think it's 1/2 of an inch. I think it's 1/4 of an inch. So we'll go ahead and fix that. It should be 1/4. This should be 1/4. And this circle should be 1/4 as well. Alright, now we can just go in here and grab this, and then we can be able to slide it over. Pop that in there, tell it 1/4. And then we could set that at 0.25. Enter. And then I'd dimension off this to this, 0.25, enter. And then my last one would be over here, and I can line it up by both of the center of that and center of that. Just type in my measurement, 0.25 diameter. We got those in. Now I'm going to go out of 2D sketch mode into 3D, hit finish sketch, hit extrude, and I'll catch this as my profile. It's enclosed, and my distance is 3/4 of an inch, 0.75. And there I have it. Now your tutorial is going to take you through and show you a few things. Over here, if you come to your origin and open that up, you can right click and you can open up the visibility on these planes, any one of them that you want to open up, just like that. Now on this, we're going to have right in the center of this thing, it's going to have a feature that's going to be round with a hole in it, but it's going to be at an angle compared to the plane here, 45-degree angle. If you need to make a plane one that you don't have, you've got work features here. You have to be in your feature mode to get to this, but let me show you just a couple things. We're going to get into this a little bit heavier with work planes, but for now, you've got all kinds of different things. If you want it to offset from a plane, if you want to offset from one of these planes that we brought up, or just a face of something, the only thing you have to do is just tell it exactly how far you want to go away from it, and it'll make you another plane. Okay? You can also find the midpoint between two planes or surfaces, this and this, and it'll put you one right in the dead center, just like that. Now this one that's kind of off here, it's our XY plane. I want to turn that visibility off. Now we could do this. We made this plane here. We could do it a couple different ways. We could take and angle this plane if we wanted to, or because we need to put a plane running between the center point of this hole to the center point of this hole, what I would recommend to do here is put you an axis work axis right through the center of this cylinder, and one right here. And what that does is it puts that axis right all the way through where that cylinder is. So at this point you can just kick on plane, catch that axis line with this axis line, and you've got your angle. We'll talk more about work planes later, but that's a real quick and easy way to do it. And now I'm just basically going to make me a new sketch by clicking on this plane that we just made. Do a new sketch, and we're looking at this thing straight on. Now, a good trick that you can do is we're in new sketch, you can right click on top of that plane, and you can do what's called slice graphics, and it cuts it. It cuts the object where you can see what's going on. And also I'm going to go ahead and turn off by clicking on the plane, right clicking, and turn my visibilities off. That way I can see what I'm doing. Just like that. Now this is my part. So what I want to do is first, whenever you do something like we did with planes and you cut something through, it's always best to project your geometry. What you're doing is you're taking this object that's already here and you're projecting its geometry onto the new plane. Okay? That way that you can be able to use the measurements, you can measure off of the pre-existing object that's there. So with that said and done, I need to find the center of it. In a line, I'm going to try to find the center of this. I'm just going to bring this up. And dimension off this to this point, and then I'm going to dimension from here to here off that point. And what I need to do is I need to put this right in the dead center. So overall, let's put an overall dimension on this whole thing. And I want to double click this one. I want to type in what the overall is, 3.601 divided by 2. Puts my line right in the dead center. Now I can take and I can start drawing this image up, and it's no big deal. Again, I want to look at this thing where I can look at it flat. So you want to go to look at, make sure you're on your right work plane, tilts it up so I can see it, and I'm going to start drawing this thing. It looks like the width of this is 1.5, so I'm just going to draw a line right here, draw it up so far, and I want to draw me another line right in here. Dimension it 0.75, and draw one here at 0.75. Okay, now we go up 0.75, and we're going to put a circle in this, radius 0.75. So go up here and hit circle. I'm just going to put it right here in this, and I'll bring it over to where it touches. That'll be exactly where it should be. Now I dimension this thing. I just grab it from there to here, and it needs to be 0.75 to the center of it. Now I just trim out what I don't want, which is that and that and that and that, and then I'm going to put me another circle in it. And this circle is right in the dead center of it, and it is a diameter of 0.75. And then we got two little grooves on the side here, and I have to go back to line, and I'm just going to grab that, bring it up, make sure everything stays perpendicular, and zoom in. Let's just go ahead and dimension that. It is 1/4 inch dimension. So from there to there should be 1/4 of an inch. And from here to here should be 1/4 of an inch. And then from here to here should be 1/4 of an inch as well. It's wanting to do a driven dimension. Let's see what's going on with that. Dimension from that point to this point should be 1/4 of an inch. 1/4 of an inch. That's perfect. And sometimes you've seen where I couldn't get the dimension off this line here. What I did was I just caught the end point of this line and come up here and dimension it, and it let me do it. Sometimes this program can be a little touchy, but you can get it to work if you just kind of work and manipulate it. So hit your control button, and first thing I want to do is hit mirror. I'll mirror it to this other side. Select objects, this, and this. My mirror line would be right there. Hit apply and done. Trim out what you don't want. And now just hit finish sketch, and at this point you have it on your computer. Now what I would do at this point would be to take and go up here to extrude. Profile would be this, and I would use this one right here, this option, which is actually lets the extrude be centered evenly on both sides of the profile. So hit OK on that, and I need to go back and fix that because it should have been 1 inch instead of 0.75. To do that, just double click your extrusion, and I can change that to 1. And right there is the part, and now we just got to go in and round these edges off by hitting fillet up here. It's supposed to be 1/4 of an inch. We change it right here to 5. Select your edges, this point, this point, this point, and this point. So hit apply, and that should have already changed it for you, and you're good shape. There's your part. Now we'll have another video that goes along with this to show you how to put it on the print and how to dimension this, as well as how to do an auxiliary view. So when you get done with when you watch this week 9, there'll be a second video called week 9B.